I think I'll be okay. Hi. So now I'm currently a part-time student. Confession, I switched from full-time to part-time pretty much right after I uploaded the last video about my 1-month experience at Designlab. And the reason is because I think the wireframing portion just kind of burnt me out. Amount of work and sacrificing family time didn't work out for me on a full-time schedule basis. I feel like if I was living on my own it would work out, but currently I'm currently living with family, and I help out my mom a lot since she had eye surgery, and so I'm kind of like on standby as I'm studying to like whenever she needs help. My family has been very supportive through it all, but it's just that like I feel bad, like I don't know, I just feel bad. Like if I was home alone, if I was living alone, like I'll just like make up my own schedule and figure out like eating and everything, but my family considers like having dinner together pretty important because like our only consistent family time that we can have, since dad still goes out to work because he's an essential worker. He works sometimes like 7 days a week if he has to, and so yeah, I just kind of felt bad that I'd be hung up with like finishing an assignment before my mentor call, or like trying to catch up, because I think the most common denominator I've been experiencing with other students was that we all felt behind all the time. And so we never felt we were ahead, we kind of just felt like we were behind. So we just kind of felt like we were like racing after something, and I just got to a point where I had a moment last week while doing wireframes. I learned that I'm a slow learner. And so yeah, I'm gonna embrace it. I'm a slow learner. I need time to properly digest everything, to understand before I move on to the next assignment, or before I move on to the next reading material, because I hate being in this, like, I don't know if I'm describing it correctly, I hate to be in this hazy cloud where I'm not fully understanding it. If I don't understand something, I tend to read things over and over and over again, and then that kind of just pushes me back. When I feel like I'm short for time, my mind gets unclear, and that's when stress kind of builds up for me. Yeah, I feel like everyone's different. I just kind of thought like, why am I trying so hard to finish so quickly? Because with my full-time status for my cohort, my expected graduate date was October 5th, I think, like beginning of October this year. And so I was basically chasing after that graduation date, and I don't know, like I think I just kind of thought like, okay, why am I trying so hard to graduate on time? Like, why am I trying so hard to graduate early? And I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, with like COVID and everything, nothing's for sure. Thankfully there are companies who are hiring UX designers, but at the same time it's still like there's this eerie atmosphere of uncertainty, and because it's still uncertain, the job market, there's no way of telling how it's going to be like in October or even January. And so since I have the advantage where I don't need to pay rent, that's the biggest thing, and I don't have large bills to pay, and taking advantage of the EDD, I'm very thankful for my current situation. And so I just kind of felt like there's no rush for me to finish early or as soon as possible. I wanted to take my time with this learning process, since I am learning a lot, even my first month being a full-time student at Designlab, yeah, you learn a lot. And even in part-time, I still think you're gonna be learning. I just thought, like, why don't I just take advantage of my current situation? So that's why I switched to part-time. Currently I'm on week 6. Yeah, switching statuses is totally fine. Now that I am part-time, I feel so much more relaxed. Last week, I just spent the whole week catching up with wireframing and just kind of took a breather. I didn't do anything for like 2 days, which was kind of nice. And when you transition from full-time to part-time, you just contact the Designlab support team and then just let them know and let your mentor know. Thankfully, my mentor, he said that he'll squeeze me into his part-time students curriculum, and so I was like, okay, thank you. If you want to switch from full-time to part-time or vice versa, then I think you should contact your mentor first and double check if he or she is available to accommodate to your transition. Or if not, when you contact Designlab support team, then they're going to do that for you and let you know, like, hey, we're gonna change your mentors because your mentor says he or she isn't available for your new schedule. And so with that said, I hope to keep my mentor since you know, I just didn't want to like go through the whole like introduction and like this is like how I work and whatnot with a new mentor yet. I say yet because since Designlab has 2 phases, which is like phase 1 is like the learning process of everything, and then phase 2 is more of like working on your projects on your own. In phase 2, I've heard that mentors don't really hold your hand as much compared to phase 1, and so phase 1 is pretty much, the way I understand it, is like a training process for you to get a chance to like actually work on things in phase 2. And so yeah, and so like since I'm still in phase 1, I want to stick to the same mentor, but I have seen other students who've changed to a different mentor when they transitioned into phase 2. Maybe they didn't like their mentor as much and they just kind of sucked it up all throughout phase 1 and then finally decided to change phase 2, or maybe before they got into phase 2 they changed to a different mentor to kind of get the opportunity to learn from another mentor and see like a different mentor's teaching styles and insight. The only thing is that you only get one chance to switch your status as a student, and so it's like after you switch from either like me full-time to part-time, you're staying part-time until you graduate. Like I mentioned, my tentative date to graduate when I was part-time student was October 5th or so, but now it's been extended to January 5th, and I feel like that my current overall situation with being with family and helping my mom, I think it's okay. I don't need to rush and finish the course to get into the job market yet, and so yeah. I think I'll be okay. So I kind of just took a mental breather and I had time to read. So I had ample enough time to be able to dive into UX through different platforms, because before, as a full-time student, I was just on Designlab's website and doing the assignments and required reading material, and it just kind of felt like I was like pumping out and solely dedicating my time only for Designlab. And I love to look into different avenues, like listen to podcasts related to what I'm interested in, or read books. Like I did start reading Don Norman's The Design of Everyday Things. For the past month, I have not read this book. So now as a part-time student, I feel like I can leisurely read. Now I could actually read this book because during any extra time I can get, I just didn't want to do anything. Like I just wanted to lie down in bed, read manga, or watch anime, or watch Heart Signal or something like random, update on Instagram, or yeah, just like really no-brainer entertainment type of things. And before Designlab, I was trying to be more mindful of networking, and I was meeting different people through Zoom or meetup.com. I was looking for local UX designers, trying to get their experiences and whatnot, and like actively trying to connect with people on LinkedIn. That requires a good amount of energy, for me at least, because I'm honestly introverted, and even meeting people online was exhausting. And so yeah, I didn't have the energy for that either. I felt like really I became more selective with my networking options during the past month. I still tried, but not as exhaustively than before I started the academy. And so now that I'm part-time, I feel like I could dedicate myself with reading, listening to other podcasts, meeting and networking. And I've also had some people on LinkedIn request to meet up on a phone call or like on a Zoom, and I've been open to do that. It's just that like lately the numbers of people who are interested and were DMing me were like there were just an increasing amount of like people who are interested to talk to me, which I feel really grateful, since I don't feel like I'm, you know, at a level to share my experiences on like tips and tricks yet. But yeah, but even then too, like honestly, I'm a really shy person, and I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, anyways, all in all, I just feel like I have more time as a part-time student, which I'm really enjoying. So going forward, I'm finally starting the UI now. My mentor and I are going to meet once a week now, because part-time students just meet once a week, not 2 weeks. And I think that's a lot better too, because meeting my mentor twice a week was kind of draining for me because I get really nervous. Yeah, so I'm gonna start my work. Oh yeah, do you want to see my nude setup? My little brother was so kind to get me this Corsair wireless keyboard, and I just kind of, it's kind of like a ghetto setup, but I just use a big book I have, and then ta-da! I'm just missing a mouse. I feel like I need a mouse, but I'm also trying to save money, so maybe I'll just see how long I could go for without needing a mouse. But this is my current setup. Oh, if you want to see, Designlab gave me a care package